What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's special episode UFC Zilla, where I'll be giving my official predictions on the officially agreed upon fight between Dustin Poirer and the legendary Conor McGregor, coming back for a rematch with one of the best strikers in the lightweight division. Before I talk about that, please hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time I make a video. Guys, let's get this because legacies are on the line right now. Very exciting time to be an MMA fan. Whether it happens late this year or early next year, Conor McGregor is back and he's gonna have his first big test since losing to Khabib nearly 2 years ago in one of the biggest fights in UFC history. But this is kind of a revenge story for Dustin Poirer, losing to Conor McGregor before when he was just a puppy. He wasn't as nearly as much as a dog as he is now. And now this fight is just going to be off the chain from a striking perspective. Conor McGregor's first striker on striker match since he left the UFC. And trying to predict this fight is just going to be wild because Dustin has been a way more improved fighter. Conor McGregor has not been in the UFC consistently, but he did starch Cowboy. But then again, we could say Dustin Poirer would starch Cowboy in a fight like that, which makes this fight even more hazy to predict. So now let's get into the fighter goals. What does each fighter in this fight need to do to conquer the other? And we're going to start off with Dustin Poirer, since he's sort of the challenger in this situation, whereas Conor McGregor, just fighting the man is like fighting for a championship and reputation. So what does Dustin Poirer need to do? First, he needs to stay in boxing range. Conor McGregor is a great all-time great kickboxer, so making him box against Dustin Poirer, taking his legs out of the equation and just going fist for fist, combo for combo against Conor McGregor, who has questionable stamina, is going to be a #1 key for Dustin Poirer. Constantly staying up in his face, avoiding those hard punches, and making sure he just has great boxing fundamentals to use against Conor McGregor. Not letting him get too much space for him to get into his kickboxing form will be very important for Dustin Poirer. Another thing, mixing it up with wrestling. Not only is Dustin Poirer an accomplished striker, but he has a great mix-up takedown game, which could really throw Conor McGregor off his game if he's able to get close enough to where McGregor isn't sure to block, stop a takedown, or whatever. Because Conor McGregor has great takedown defense, but Dustin could throw combination after combination, which you can't really say about any other of McGregor's opponents, and then go for a takedown, and has a great, ground game as well. So just mixing up and trying to really make sure McGregor has no idea what's coming next. McGregor is a great counter fighter, but if Dustin Poirer can mix it up and have solid wrestling and keep him on the ground and really use that as a threat against Conor McGregor, he's gonna have no choice but to respect the takedown game whenever he tries to go for it. Now on the other side, what does the legend Conor McGregor have to do to beat Dustin Poirer and reclaim his legacy as still being one of the best UFC fighters in the world, even if he's not showing up consistently to fight on a year-by-year basis? Conor McGregor is going to try and prove he is still one of the best in the game, and for him to win this fight, he is going to have to stay at kickboxing range, threaten Dustin Poirer with kicks all over the place. It's one thing that he can't really predict. Dustin Poirer is going to have good boxing fundamentals, and Conor McGregor is more of a kickboxing, really unpredictable power puncher. So he needs to feel out Dustin Poirer, and in those times of feeling out to try and steal the first round, he needs to throw leg kicks, have a couple of counter punches for Dustin Poirer to keep the jab off him, because that's what Dustin Poirer is going to do. He's going to bring those fundamentals. He's going to have a constant jab, keep constant pressure on McGregor, circle the right way to try corner McGregor, and he needs to have counter punches landing in the right place and not just rely on not just head movement and head hunting, but go to the body sometimes, kick to the body, stay dynamic and unpredictable. So as long as he's that unpredictable, Dustin Poirer will not be able to kind of get a lock on him and have a set game plan. So in this fight, it's going to be really interesting to see Conor McGregor's dynamics versus Dustin Poirier's good fundamentals go at each other in a fight like this. And the advantage is going into a 5-round fight is that Dustin Poirer has been in many fights in the last 4 or 5 years, while Conor McGregor has kind of fallen off. The toughest opponent he's had, he also faced Khabib. He had better faring with Khabib, survived Khabib's all-out assault, whereas Dustin Poirer fell apart. So that is one to note. In a fight like this where it's going to be a long time of guys taking punches from each other, durability is going to play a part in it, and Conor McGregor absolutely outclasses Dustin Poirer when it comes to durability. He's taken some of the worst punches, the worst hits in MMA history, and still got back up, and there's a reason he's never been knocked out in a fight. And Dustin Poirier, I think he's been knocked out, but he gets tired too. So I think the stamina advantage and disadvantage that they try to put against McGregor is not going to work in this fight. I think they both have relatively the same level of stamina, and they're just going to be going at it, especially when they're hurt. They still fight really well under pressure, and I think that once the first 3 rounds are over, that's when the fight is going to start getting interesting as far as gas tanks, durability, these different factors that play out long term in a fight. And plus there's going to be a lot of points fighting. You know, Dustin Poirier is going to want to get scrappy, get a lot of punches in on McGregor. McGregor's going to want to get a lot of leg kicks and hit him with big time punches to counter his, you know, constant jabs, and also punish anything that he's doing as a constant. The thing for Dustin Poirier is that in a 5-round fight, he's going to have to not only be careful at all times because McGregor has the most power of really any UFC fighter right now, but on top of that, he is lightning quick to recognize repetitious movements when you are boxing, okay? So if you keep throwing something, Conor McGregor's going to read it, counter it. So that's why Dustin Poirier has to be real careful with his defense when he throws something to make sure it's safe. Maybe keep it at 3 combos, don't turn to 4, so Conor McGregor can't counter and really fight smart. And at the end of the fight, at the end of the day, you know, we could say Conor McGregor can knock Dustin Poirier out. Dustin Poirier could gas Conor out by punching him in the stomach and put him in a compromised position and maybe submit him on the ground, because I don't think he can knock him out. But my prediction for this fight is I think Conor McGregor is going to win by decision. This is going to be a tight match, a lot of strategy going on, a lot of really hard punches, similar between the Diaz fight as far as boxing, the violence of the punches, the blood. But I think this is going to be a heavy technique fight. And I think when we're talking about technique, unpredictability, IQ, reading punches, I gotta give it to Conor McGregor. And plus he's gonna have those fast leg kicks where Dustin Poirier is gonna try and use repetitious combos that I think Conor McGregor can counter and narrowly win by a decision victory. But guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below on who you think is gonna win this fight, Conor McGregor or Dustin Poirier. Also leave the reason why they are gonna win in the comment section. This has been the best Gojira in UFC news. Sign off guys. Y'all have a nice day.